everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are recording our first new footage since I've gotten home from my trip. I posted a vlog kind of mid to late last week, and I hope that you guys all enjoyed watching that. I had a lot of fun taking footage for that, and I do apologize that it got out a little bit late on the channel. I had a lot of technical difficulties. Perhaps one of the most incredible gifts I've ever received in my entire life was that my sister built me a PC because my Mac was dying and I couldn't edit videos very reliably anymore. So I'm so grateful to her for that. So thank you, Jenny. And the technical difficulties that I had to do with setting that up, and then the new video recording or video editing software that I'm using had some glitches in it, and it took a while for me to export that video. But I think we're good now. I think that I should be able to edit from here on out, and it will be great. And I also received a lot of other wonderful gifts for my birthday, as well as picked up a couple of things on my own during my travels. So I thought I would go ahead and share that with you today. The last stop that I made on my trip was to see one of our viewers and patrons, Tiffany, down in Irvine and Anaheim area when I was down there for BlizzCon. We got to spend a day together. It was so much fun. We went out for lunch and then went to her local art store, and I have never seen such an incredible selection of supplies before. I will have to look up the name of the art store and put it in the description below for you. It's like art supplies warehouse or something pretty generic sounding, but even at Blick, I've been to several Blick locations, I have never seen the sheer range of supplies that I saw at this store. So Tiffany is a super lucky gal, and if you're in Southern California, I highly recommend checking out that shop. And while we were there, she very kindly let me pick out a porcelain palette, and I got to take this home with me. This is a Jack Richson porcelain palette. They had a bunch of these. There were lots of different kinds. There were some that had like egg-shaped wells. There were small ones, there were big ones. I ended up getting this one because I want to eventually use this for my inks, and the wells are they're deep enough that I can put inks in there and dip a pen in and that kind of thing. And I also have mixing areas and everything. Currently, it is holding some samples. So she also had a set of watercolors that I have not reviewed, but is very highly requested here on the channel, and that are the Holbein paints. So she had the set of 18, and I went ahead and put little dots in the palette to here of the 16 colors in that set. They also have black and white, and I didn't take any samples of those, but I have the colors to review, and that'll come to you in a video as well. And then there's a couple of Sennelier colors in here that I can also try. And once I have used up all the paint in here, I can go ahead and repurpose it for inks and whatnot, and I'm really excited. And thank you so much, Tiffany, for this really lovely little gift. I didn't have room for all the colors that she offered for me to try out on that palette, so we got a little bit creative with my traveling, and we took a paper plate and we put out a bunch of swatches of Daniel Smith on here. Now, it's gotten to the point where I have the sampler card, and all of you, I've had wonderful people send me some samples and things to try, so I was like, oh no, I probably have most of those colors or have used them, and I was incorrect because Tiffany has a beautiful selection of the Primatech colors, and so I got to try out some colors that I've only ever tried out in the little tiny dot form. These are the colors that I got to try that I have not tried yet before. There are some really specialty mixes in here, or more expensive paints that I haven't been able to try, and there's also some Primatech colors. This is Lunar Blue. Anything with a square in the bottom is a genuine color, so this is Blue Apatite Genuine. Cobalt Turquoise made from PB36. The Sleeping Beauty turquoise, which I have been eyeing for as long as I've seen Daniel Smith colors. It's such a beautiful color, and it's incredibly expensive. It's their Series 7, which is the most expensive paint you can buy. I think it's retails at $27 a tube, and then, there's discounts online and things like that, but quite pricey there. This is a Cascade Green. We've got Azurite Genuine. This is like a really desaturated granulating blue. It'd be really good for like really moody skies. It's not a super crisp clean color, but it's nice if you want that muted tone. We've got the Jadeite Green Genuine, Moonglow, which I know a lot of you all really love this color. It's a granulating desaturated purple. And there's Purplerite Genuine, which I hadn't seen before. I forgot to check my Daniel Smith chart to see if it's on the dot page, but I don't even remember seeing this name before, so that was fun. Oops. We've got the Bordeaux, which I have seen on the chart, and I thought it was really pretty, and I don't know a lot about this pigment. I want to do some more research. It's PV32. It's very similar to like a really deep magenta or a really, really deep Quin Rose, but like more on the purple side. So I am looking forward to looking into this more. I don't know how it differs from other types of paints. I think it's a little bit more opaque. I mean, it's not opaque, you can see here, but it slightly has more body than some of the other transparent quinacridone colors. And finally, she let me try out the red Fuchsite Genuine, which sparkles. It's one of those minerals that was ground up and turned into paint. While I was busy swatching out the Holbein and the Daniel Smith colors, she was busy cutting me off little samples of her Perlis watercolor sheets, and she told me some really cool information about it. They have like the little information sheet with it. This has been around since, like, I think she said the 1800s, like late 1800s, mid 1800s. I'll look that up and double check, but I had no idea that this had been around for that long. I know that there's a newer product, the Vivia sheets that everyone was reviewing a little while ago. So I'm not sure if they fit my style of painting, which I like to have a palette, and I like wells and mixing and things like that, but I am excited to try them out and review them here on the channel. I did do a quick little color swatching sheet here, and they're all very bright, vivid, and pretty staining colors. I think a lot of them are dye-based. So while we were at the store, I picked up some of these little tiny wood panels. If you haven't seen already, I think on Instagram I was posting them a little while back, and Angela Fair has a terrific tutorial on how to mount your watercolor paintings on a wood block using some extra supplies. So these were really tiny little wood blocks, and they were really inexpensive. I think they were like $2 a piece, so I picked up a couple of these. The only watercolor paint that I picked up for myself was this tube of DaVinci Burnt Sienna, and if you remember way back when I did my color spotlight for Burnt Sienna, one of my viewers sent me some swatches of the DaVinci and the American Journey paints so that I could test those out, and I actually really, really love this variety, and I wanted to give it a shot. I've been using Daniel Smith pretty much forever, since I started watercolor painting. This one is a bit more on the oranger side, like not to the extent of PR101. It's still a PBR7, but it's a little bit more orange and has a little bit different properties when you're mixing them with ultramarine blue. I actually did some testing last night. I wasn't planning on showing this to you, but it's here on the floor, so let me fix my lighting. And this is the DaVinci, and this is the Daniel Smith in both colors. You can see that the Daniel Smith makes like a really soft, I call it like a dove gray. I don't know if that's accurate for other people, but I feel like it's a dove or a pigeon gray to me. And then the DaVincis make more of a more neutral tone, I guess, a little bit darker and blacker. I did a bunch of other tests on here, playing with Sennelier and some other colors that I have. I actually think I decided that I really liked the Sennelier Ultramarine, so I might go ahead and pick up a tube of that in the future to try out with this new tube of Burnt Sienna. The other tube that I have here was another gift from Tiffany. She picked me up the Naphthalmine Maroon, which is a Daniel Smith color. I adore this color. It's PR171, I believe. And this is the color directly out of the tube. It's this beautiful, deep, rich maroon color. And the colors that it makes, mixed with some other colors that I was just playing around with last night, are so beautiful. This is the Naphthalmine Maroon mixed with quinacridone burnt orange, and it's this deep, rich, almost purpley brown color. This is mixed with manganese blue from DaVinci, which is the original manganese pigment and PB15 together. It makes these really beautiful, soft, granulating purples. And then mixed with phthalo turquoise, which is a phthalo blue and phthalo green mixed together. It has this deep, beautiful, moody blue. And I am just so excited to add this into my palette and try out some different things with it. And the gifts keep coming from Tiffany because she also picked me up this Be Creative sketchbook from the Bee Paper Company, which I believe are the same people who make the Aqua Bee paper that I was using here on the channel for a lot of my like samples and testers. I have the 90-pound paper. This is a 100% cotton notebook, which is really exciting. I haven't had a sketchbook that has been 100% cotton before. It's 8x8, and it has some interesting features to it. So the cover is a really, really simple cover. It's like a 2-ply, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's a 2-ply like cardboard front. And then there is a piece of protective paper in the front of the journal to keep it separate from the cover. And each of the pages are perforated, so you can tear these out if you paint something that you really like and want to scan or something. They are one-sided, which means that they're only going to paint properly on one side of the paper. Or yeah, paint. Did I say the right word? Oh, it's early still. But the paper is pretty thick. It's the 140 pound, and the back side is very, very smooth, whereas the front side has the texture. So I will only be painting on one side, maybe doing tests on the back side if I need to, but I find that doing tests on the wrong side of paper isn't super helpful because it's not going to look the way that you would expect it to on the front side. So I'm really excited to use this. I cannot wait to get back to you on my thoughts on it, and more on that later. Trying to look through all the supplies that I have here, and I think the last thing that I picked up down there at that warehouse was these Faber-Castell fine liners, which I'm excited to use both with watercolors and in my bullet journal. And so it comes in 4 sizes, and I've wanted to try these for a while because I usually use microns, and I've heard a lot of good thing about the Faber-Castell, so I'm going to try those out. Tiffany also got me some printer paper, some watercolor printer paper, and some watercolor printer cards. So it's watercolor texture paper. They're further down on the stack, and I'll be able to show these to you, but just to wrap up our closure on the Tiffany gifts, I wanted to mention that here. My trip started, if we backtrack, it started in Denver, and we went to Boulder for one of those trips and visited a local art store there, and I was able to pick up some charcoal. I teach with charcoal in my after-school programs, and I always completely love it. It's so much fun. It's so freeing. Anytime that you make a mistake, like, you can correct it really easily, and so I wanted to pick some up and play with it myself. Let me know in the comments below if you'd ever want to see something like this. I could do charcoal and watercolor washes, or just charcoal. This is an extra soft, so it's really, really dark and really, really fine. I might need to pick up some other ones, but I think I also have some charcoal pencils lying around as well. In that same art store, I also found something that if you watched the vlog, you would have seen this already. I found synthetic ox gall from Core. It was in the medium section, and I hadn't seen this in a store before. I know a lot of you have asked me about ox gall. I think I promised you an ox gall video at like the beginning of the year. I apologize tremendously. It's really expensive online, and so I've been really hesitant to purchase it. But thanks, random motorcycle, for making so much noise outside. I have been really excited to try this out and compare it with some ox gall that I did not purchase but was gifted to me. I think like 2 years ago. So I have that somewhere. I'll find it, and then we can compare it to this one because I know you guys have been asking about it, and I'm sorry that it's taken me so long. Some art store, I don't remember which one, had some extra Daniel Smith pamphlets, so I don't think I actually had a clean one of these. I had one a long time ago that I wrote all over, but I thought I would pick up another one just to have it around and be able to have it in my records if I ever need a quick reference anything. While we were in Denver, I also went to the Denver Zoo on my birthday, and they have an awesome program there. If you're in Colorado or visiting Colorado and it happens to be around your birthday, you get free admission, and you get a free ice cream cone, and you get a discount in their shop. And you get this beautiful birthday pin. Speaking of birthdays, my boyfriend and my mother got me very similar but equally awesome gifts that I had been looking at online. I started bullet journaling, as a lot of you guys know. A lot of my new subscribers, I think, found me through my bullet journal videos, and this one is for you guys. I started following my life in a bullet like as soon as I started bullet journaling, and she just migrated into a new bullet journal that is from Dingbats, and it's this beautiful, adorable little elephant, and it's embossed on the cover here. It's a leatherette cover, and then the texture of the cover is like almost like elephant skin, and my boyfriend got this one for me. There is this little pen holder here and a strap to keep it nice and closed. But the cutest part about this journal is that the inside are little elephant footprints, and that's on both the front and the back covers. So I think that's super adorable. The pages are really nice and thick and high quality, and I cannot wait to migrate into this journal. And then I expect that this one will last me about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. But for the second half of next year, my mother also got me from the same company this awesome little deer. And so it's a deer on a green cover instead of a gray one, and there are little deer footprints in this one. So I could not be more thrilled. I am really excited to use these. And let me know in the comments below if you are excited about those too, or if you've used dingbats in the past, or if you're moving into one for this next year. I think they're so great. I'll put a link in the description below for my Amazon associates if you want to go ahead and check these out. Here are the papers that I was talking about that Tiffany got for me. I finally got to them in my pile. So it's watercolor textured paper that you can print on. It's not actual watercolor paper. I did try actually on one of the cards, and it definitely stays in the paper fibers. Like once you put the paint down, it's just stuck there. It's not going to move around for you at all, but it still let me watercolor on it, so that was cool. And in the middle of my trip, I went to see my best friend Beth in St. Louis, and she gifted me these awesome books on some different art topics. So the first one is The Realism Challenge by Mark Criley, and I know all of you guys know who Mark Criley is. He has a YouTube channel here, but he's a very, very accomplished artist and comic book artist, and he's done this book for the Realism Challenge and how to paint everyday items realistically. And so it's really cool. I can't wait to kind of dive into that and look more into it. And then we've got the Law's Guide to Nature Drawing and Journaling. And this is actually really fascinating. I added it to my wish list just kind of on, not a whim, but it was a recommendation from someone somewhere, I don't remember where. And I didn't really know what the contents of this journal was, but I knew that I wanted to journal more. I'm really excited because it's a really unique approach to like actual journaling. And so it's not just paintings, but it's also writing down observations. And the whole thing is based on this premise that you should be asking questions while you're out in nature, asking why are things like really fascinating. And I'm really excited to use this. I know a couple of you have already asked me if I can look into this in another video in the future. And again, let me know in the comments below if you are one of those people who want to see more on this. That about does it for all of the things that I picked up during my travels and for my birthday, but I did get one more package in the mail from Anna Kania, who's over on Instagram. She is a very sweet person and great artist, and she offered to send me some little paint samples of some paints that I don't already have. So she sent over this really cute little dragonfly, and she wrote a little challenge to me in her letter that she made this with 3 colors, and she would like to see me try and do the same challenge. So I would like to do that on the channel. Let me know if you want to see it too. She sent me this little, I think it's like a medicine box or something. I don't know what this is typically used for, but she put the paints in the little wells, and in the first 2 rows are some gouache. So there's Winsor Newton, Schminke, Winsor Newton and Schminke gouaches, which I haven't tried either of those brands, so I'm excited to try those out. And then she has a couple of watercolors from Sennelier, Winsor Newton, Old Holland, Van Gogh, Schminke, and then she also included some paints that she's made herself. So she has a Prussian blue here, and this is a very, very generous sample. This whole thing is filled with paint, so I have plenty of Prussian blue to last me quite a while. And then she also sent over an ultramarine violet, I believe. Yep, PV15. And both of the pigments that she used for these were from Sennelier, and then she made them into her paints. So this is actually a color that I haven't used. I don't have any of it in any tube anywhere. So I'm excited to be able to try that one out. So thank you so much to all the wonderful people in my life who have just blessed me this year with gifts that I don't know how I deserve them, but first and foremost to my sister for being able to make sure that I can still do this job and still make videos for you. Please all thank her in the comments below. I know that she checks up on the channel. Oh, I'm getting teary, sorry. To my boyfriend who went on this entire trip with me and helped me bring back the computer. We had to bring it back on the plane. He flew back before I did since I was going on to St. Louis, and so he's the one who got it through airport security and everything as a carry-on. To him for picking up that bullet journal, and to my mom for doing that as well, to my best friend Beth for having me stay there with her. That was a gift enough in itself, and then she also gave me those beautiful books. To Tiffany, who I did not expect anything from at all, and she sent me home with so many amazing things. I'm so, so grateful, and to all the art stops that we were able to stop at. Thank you to everyone who is watching this and who has supported my channel. The subscribers have just blown up in the recent months, and I'm so excited that the channel is growing and our community is growing. If you are new to the channel and seeing this video for the first time and you'd like to see any of the supplies from this video, be sure to subscribe and click that little bell to get notifications, and let me know in the comments below what you would like to see from this haul in my next sets of videos. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.